welcome everybody to the Casper Podcast. I'm your gracious, beautiful, blessed, beloved, and black host, the kid that they call Casper. The KID in Casper stands for King of Development. I'm that menace with the melanin. Reject me as I am, as long as he's still relevant. Whew. First off, it's been a long couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's been pretty turbulent to say the least. It's been pretty taxing, restful in a lot of ways. I've been getting a lot of sleep. I've just been taking the time to kind of just, shine my crown a little bit, take my time off, and everything like that. A couple people hit me up and were worried I was gonna come back bald headed. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm just bald on my sides and my widow's peak and everything like that. But yeah, point is, I'm back. We got a lot to talk about today, from mental health to what's going on with me to church trauma and everything like that. But you know what, I'm gonna just drop the intro real quick. Every time I go in, every time I go in, every time I go in, I'm jealous. Every time I go in, every time I go in, every time I go in, I'm jealous. I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm a kid, I'm jealous. If this is your first time tuning in today, hello, I am the kid that they call Casper. I am a Christian raptivist, yes, rapper slash activist. I love Jesus, but I'm far from a pacifist. You heard me. I'm a leader of the Interfaith Coalition in the state of Maryland that's fighting for systemic, institutional, educational, and societal reform. Let's see, I'm a taco enthusiast. There's a couple of other things. Apparently, I have a PhD in pulling baby hairs, as somebody said to me this weekend. That was quite hilarious. GoThreads.com. That's how we pay the brand. That's how we pay the bills and everything on here. Sign up for our Patreon. You know what I'm saying? That kind of helps. Not kind of. It does help. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to you by saying that. What did you say? Oh, Lord Jesus. As my sister Jessica just texted me. She over here making white people cry on TikTok, evidently, but that's completely besides the point. We got a couple of people in the house. We got Uncle Rudy up in here. We got Black Girl Warrior. We got Auntie Maya, Aunt Tamisha up in here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always seems to show up on time. You know what I'm saying? Not that you can really be late. These podcasts kind of get a bit Pentecostal. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you can necessarily show up late at the same time. When people roll up in here when it's like 5 minutes left, it's like, catch the replay. It still helps for my numbers. If you haven't already, could you please do so now? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you aren't subscribed already, share with some people, tag people in this video. Hopefully this is liberating, healing, and peace instilling to somebody who is watching. At the end of the day, share it on Facebook. Appreciate that, Uncle Rudy. Appreciate that. I'm sitting there finally looking at like your picture on your YouTube, and I'm like, this man all blazered out, looking like he going to a wine tasting. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I kind of prayed about this yesterday. As far as coming back on a Monday. I don't normally do podcasts on Mondays. On like a very off the cuff type of thing. I normally don't like to do Mondays in general, just because like Mondays are usually like that bleh. You know what I'm saying? Mondays are usually like that bleh day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Mondays typically is when I have the most to do. It's typically my mental health Mondays, my self-love Mondays. Got my Epsom salt bath and everything in. I usually have therapy on Mondays. But considering that it's the 5th, yeah, my office just did not have therapy today. So it's just like, I'm not my therapist's problem until I would say, I think it's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Thursday, I'll be my therapist's problem. So hopefully I don't like absolutely lose my marbles. I'm so kidding. Everything should be just fine. But I don't really know how to tackle this. Um, and by how do I want to tackle this? I usually don't come in here prepared. I don't like to read off of a script. I like to do things very off the cuff. It makes it seem more genuine. It doesn't feel forced. You know what I'm saying? Even though sometimes I have to like put a little bit more extra effort to get back in the swing of things. Opposed to when I'm usually doing these like 3 times a week and then go from doing it 3 times a week to not at all, essentially. Working behind the scenes, helping a couple of my friends out that just started something. What I'm saying? Like my big sister Jessica just started her podcast. She'll be going live. Oh, good God, got the bubbles. Good Lord, maybe I shouldn't have drank that Dr. Pepper. Maybe I shouldn't drink Dr. Pepper on my first day back. I don't know. Got my big sister's podcast tomorrow. The Not Your Safe Zone podcast. It is not a Tetelestai incorporated production. It's just a me supporting family, you know what I'm saying? Just spotlighting one of my sisters that is getting out here. Luckily, I mean, like I've just been like sending a lot of my followers to my sister in North Kakalaka. Y'all been, thoroughly enjoying her podcast, the Better Not Bitter podcast. She's been killing it. She's been crushing it. So everybody's been good on that. Yeah, she just did. I think she just started season 2. I think season 2, if I'm not mistaken, Auntie Maya. Yeah, you just started season 2. So yeah, you out here getting it. You heard me. As far as other church announcements, I had to postpone the Lead with Love marathon till August 14th. Yeah, so on July 3rd, I was planning on having the protest slash event. We had an incident in which one of the Safe Streets activists within my state was shot and killed Thursday. On Thursday, yep. And it was a big thing. The whole city felt it. The whole city of Baltimore felt it. And for me, it felt like it was, hey, Queen Gesture showed up, but it just seemed a bit tone deaf. Not so much tone deaf. I think just as far as like space etiquette goes, I don't want to speak over anybody, if that makes sense. I don't want to speak over a people in which that they are mourning at the time. And for some odd reason, either it's my synesthesia. It was my synesthesia. Okay. No, it wasn't my synesthesia. No, it is my synesthesia. I don't know. So for some odd reason, depending on how I hear things, like I see things in different colors, and my white light bulbs are supposed to be white, but because of my synesthesia, my yellow light bulb is for some odd reason purple, and my white light bulb is blue. So it might just be because I'm wearing my blue light glasses. I don't know, but part of my rambling, but this is why I have a podcast at the end of the day. But for space etiquette wise, I just felt like it was a bit insensitive and tone deaf to speak over a mourning people. The whole city was mourning. This didn't seem, not so much it didn't seem like it was appropriate to have my messaging, but it's just in a time that I could have spotlighted what happened to my boy. What does that say? Oh, y'all over here talking to each other. Let me just ignore y'all. It seems maybe I could just do that. There we go. I'll just ignore y'all for a little bit. But it just seemed like a better idea. And then I'll get into a little bit of what also led to me postponing and everything like that. I didn't feel like diving into it with a lot of the things that were happening over the last couple of weeks. It just seemed like the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So it was an executive decision on my part. I didn't feel pressure or anything like that. A couple of people heard about the craziness happening on the Upper East Coast. Don't worry. Ain't nobody got me shook like that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like that. I know everybody probably heard about what happened in Philadelphia with the Klansmen. For those that don't know, the KKK were storming the streets of Philadelphia, evidently. So it was pretty crazy it was pretty crazy in Philly. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to do it in Philly of all places, but a couple of people thought that maybe it had something to do with that. I'm good. When I say like I'm good, well, I'm not good, but I'm maintaining. I'll say that. I'm maintaining and I'm trying to do the best I can. And now I'm kind of rambling at this point. It's probably because I'm overthinking on how I'm going to pontificate myself on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? So But yeah, let everybody in the comment section let me know where you guys are watching this from. Where's my wrench? Do you not have a wrench? Why do you not have a wrench? We'll talk about this later. Jess, my goodness, nobody's acting crazy right now, so hopefully there you won't need a wrench. Um, so yeah, everybody in the comment section, let me know where you might block everybody. I don't know if she block everybody. I just feel like she might cuss everybody out personally. I don't know. Once again, I'm gonna try to not look at y'all so much in the comment section. I can literally hear y'all voices as I see what y'all are scribing in the comment section. You heard me. But yeah. So I guess I should just kind of dive into this, head first, best way I know how to, talk about the elephant in the room. So for those that were watching, as we're live from Facebook, from YouTube to Twitch, you know what I'm saying? Even on the lovely nice, we in Jersey, even on the lovely airways of LinkedIn. I don't know why people on LinkedIn exist, but that's besides the point. I use it for speaking engagements, but that's besides the point. Um, and those for TikTok too. Everybody's been kind of worried about me. What happened? You know what I'm saying? They're wondering like, why did I just kind of need to take the time off? Why did I just like go ghost for a little bit? Why haven't I been making content? And it's hard to kind of capture all that in a 30-minute clip. Um, and I want to keep it as personal and intimate, but at the same time, not too impersonable in diving into this. Sometimes with TikTok, y'all get crazy. I could tell y'all that my dog died and y'all like good. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't gonna I was dive in on this on TikTok. I wasn't about to explain myself to anybody because I really don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like how I decide to take care of myself during this time, I'm completely entitled to do that however I please. Obviously, I'm going to deal with the consequences and the ramifications of that. But I don't explain myself to anybody, and a lot of y'all aren't even paying me. So it's like I don't really owe y'all the time and the access to me all the time. A very select few are allowed to do so. Jesus had yeah, I will compare myself to Jesus for a second. Jesus had thousands of people that knew him of his name, that adored him and everything like that. But Jesus had a very intimate setting as far as a very intimate group of people. Like, Jesus had plenty of people in his circle, but Jesus had very few in his corner. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say they're my 12 disciples because it's kind of one, I think it's more than 12. I think there's at least 20 something people in my community group chat. And then I believe there's like 10 of us in the sister group chat, the only dude in there. It's cool because I just get to listen about how much men suck, which we do. And I get to just take notes and not tell them how to cut. I just get to tell them, hey, I ain't got no space to tell you how to bleed, beloved. You're the one that's cut in this crappy world that doesn't value in, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't value in no one. No, I would say not good if that. I mean, like, yeah, a little bit, but Dash is all right. Here come Happy Feet now. Mind your business. Go back in your room. Y'all hear Twinkle Toes over there? My goodness. So yeah, I guess I'll just start from I guess like that week. So for those that don't know about me, I and for those that probably know a little bit about my story, what is this old man doing? I'm gonna try to ignore my dog in the background. For some reason, I'm like hyper focused on like everything at the same time. It might be because I'm actually nervous for my own podcast. I don't know why I need to be nervous on my podcast. I'm over here talking to family. Well, at least I'm talking. You guys are able to you better be nice to Dash. No, I don't have to, because when Dash farts, he's not nice to my lungs. I don't have to be nice to Dash. But for those that don't know, I've gone through a lot of stuff as far as like things that have like played into like me being shaped into who I am. I've shared how, I was an alcoholic as early as like 10 years old. I stopped drinking when I was 18. I've been through like traumatic events in my life. Thank you, Auntie. I appreciate that. But I've been through traumatic events in my life that has either amplified my drinking or amplified the emotions in which were the triggers that caused me to drink. So with that being said, you know, there's some things in which that I've been through that like kind of like resurface. Um I told you guys about on my first episode of season 2 how when I was 14 I was so when I was 14 coming back from school I was trigger warning. I'm gonna put this out there right now. I was assaulted walking back from school, right before I went on like spring vacation and everything like that. And that pretty much, even though I had like a drinking problem, I would say like a vice in a sense. Um, it just like amplified it. And for me, growing up, it felt like with the shame in which that I went through, like with all these events, because like me, dealing with these traumatic events in which I was either abused or assaulted and stuff like that, it caused me end up to drink more. What happens when I drink more? I became the worst version of myself. My mouth is off the chain for those that already know, and for those that have like seen this or know me at all, as that know me before my my transformation, me being radically changed and reformed and rectified by the blood of Jesus at the end of the day. They know what I'm talking about when I say like I have been more than saturated and changed um by giving my life to Christ. But those old things still come back up. Um Trauma is tricky like that. Trauma is tricky because it can take a smell, a sound, a sight. Um, it can take word. When I say like a sound, it could take a specific sound, like a word somebody uses, how somebody says this word. It could take a smell, meaning like you could smell something. This is that and the third. Um, and it can take people that kind of like bring these things back up. A lot of this kind of like bleeds into like what's happened over the last couple of weeks for me, because a lot of this is like connected, because when you're in recovery, even though I am, I'm a new creation in Christ and I die daily, Galatians 2:20, I die daily and I am a new creation. As Christ was crucified, I was crucified with him, meaning that I have to crucify the very things that make me want to go against the grain to like what God has for me now, if that makes sense. So, but what does that mean, that I have to crucify these things daily? That means that these things daily, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to like people that's ever dealt with any type of like, it could be like, substance abuse, it could be emotional abuse, it could be any type of abuse in any which that you kind of like seek and look to these stimulants, whether it's a literal substance, whether it's watching TV, whether it's eating food, whatever. You have to like crucify these things daily. So when I say like you have to crucify these things daily, there's these things that keep trying to like come up and bubble back up. You have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not so much that it doesn't die. It's just more so that you have the willpower, or you have the knowledge to know that this thing cannot get in the passenger seat. Hell, can't even get in the driver's seat, but it is in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be like Big Mama in the front seat every once in a while. When it starts acting up, you gotta like reach around and just slap it. But in the midst of also doing that, you have to make sure, and you see how I'm drawing this parallel for those that were raised by good parents. In the midst of like, handling business and slapping this thing around, everything like that, you still gotta make sure that you don't get driven off of the road. You know what I'm saying? Um, for those that, parents was just cold-blooded and gangster, used to just turn that hazard on and just pull over. God bless you, God help you. And if you were sitting in the car listening to this now, and you are one of those kids, or you are that parent, you're probably smiling. Your kids are like, my mom and dad pull over all the time. And now you're about to get pulled over on the side of the road because you had to go and say that. You know what I'm saying? Watch your mouth. Um, one day at a time is all we control. Yeah, exactly. So, but and this can apply to anybody that is and is not saved. So hopefully that this can be insightful to anybody in a way. So like that's the thing that we I talk about. Um so when you are in recovery, you do have to die to these things daily. Like the cravings may not come daily, but there are certain circumstances that might remind you of those cravings. You know what I'm saying? Um so for me, and I'm just gonna, without getting too personal and getting too um into delicate areas, um for my mental health, specifics, and just because there's not everything I say here is for everybody. Um but for those that do know what I've talked about, in the past, I have no problem talking about it now, just because this is my podcast has become like a vlog, a diary for me in a sense. So this helps you kind of stay along with what I'm talking about. So Father's Day just came back around. And for me, um this was the first year, for those that know, and I've like talked about it on my music a couple of times. Um this is the first year that, like, in a weird way, I was like excited for Father's Day, for my biological dad. Um you know, we have a pretty up and down. Um when I say up and down relationship, like, there was times in which I just did not have my old man in my life. Not to get into too personal, because like I said, I want to be sensitive to everybody here, and everybody that's affected by this, within my family and everything like that. But I'll share with grace on this. There was stuff that, like, I found out recently, and like I've talked about it with like one of my siblings, in which that, like, I feel like I was like cheated out of a relationship with my biological dad, in a sense, because there was stuff going on within my family, and stuff with like my parents. They recently, and I've talked about this before, my parents recently finalized like their divorce. I think it was like a couple months ago. And in the midst of all that, all right, y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me. All right, good, good, good. We lost audio for a second, but so they didn't handle things the best way when it came to that and everything like that. I've talked about how there was a number of times in which that, like, my old man used to leave, and I wasn't. Hopefully, this is the last time this happens. So if you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up, please. Yes, no. All right, cool. Now I'm getting nervous because technology's being a butthead. You know what I'm saying? um, but long story short, um, there was times in which that, like, when these things all good, bet, awesome. See, Chapo lets me know, and if Chapo lets me know that we're good, then we're good. Um, but there was times growing up in which um if there was things going on with my parents, I felt like my parents, though they were home with us, they weren't in the room with us. More specifically, when there was things going on with my parents' marriage, um, my dad was not, though he was home, he was not home with us. Does that make sense? Um, and at the same time, for me, coping with my my trauma and my own addiction, I used to do stupid stuff when I used to drink. I mean, like, for real, I used to do dumb stuff. When my parents were like in a bad place, I used to do stuff to make them not argue. I've talked about this with my with a couple of people in my community group. I used to do dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? I used to do dumb and selfish stuff. I used to, whether it was like stealing, I used to lie about it. I used to lie about like everything as a kid. I used to get in arguments, I would like intentionally like start something. So my parents would not have to focus on like their own stuff growing up. Like when I was growing up and like stuff they were dealing with. Cause I was like, hey, don't argue. Like, look, I'm effing up over here. You know what I'm saying? And that was, it was in a lot of ways, that was like, either I wanted them to kind of like pay attention to me because I didn't want them to deal with their own crap. Or because it felt like, because they were so fixated on their crap, that it looked like it felt like for me I was getting glossed over in a sense. And 27 years old now. And me and my old man, we had recently gotten, I would say like we became like friends, I'll say, over the last like 2 years, I would say, about 2 years or so. And Father's Day was coming around. This was you know what I'm saying? Father's Day was coming around, and I like, this is the first year I, like, in my adulthood, I got my old man a present. I'm not gonna talk about what it is anymore. But I got my old man a present. Like, I bought it months ago and everything like that. I bought it months ago and everything. And but recently, I just I haven't heard from him. Um and that that became, it kind of brought up like that old, when I see like that old like feeling, like I was describing on the podcast a couple weeks ago. It brought up like that old feeling of like, me sitting outside, sitting at the windowsill, like looking out the window, waiting for him to either show up, come back home. It felt like for me to get his attention, I had to do dumb stuff in a sense. And I felt like a lot of um not so much like the urge to drink was coming back, if that makes sense, but I felt like the feelings that would trigger these feelings to drink were like coming back. I felt like, so like, when I say like small, like I felt like small. And I'm 6'3". I'm not allowed to feel small. You know what I'm saying? I'm kidding, for the vertically challenged and for those that don't have kneecaps in the comment section. But it just, it made me feel really small in a sense. And like, that's what's tricky about trauma. I tell people all the time, like, trauma is kind of like an emotional allergic reaction. Sometimes we don't know what the origin of this reaction is until it's like happening. And what was that? I'm vertically challenged, sir. Spongy. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I'll just, anyway. But for me, like, like when this like trauma was coming back up, and like these emotional like feelings that would like it wasn't like I wasn't triggered or like the hunger to drink, but the once I like get towards that area where like the emotions, I would say that despair, that like loss, that small feeling, you know what I'm saying, that like overly anxious feeling, because I used to drink to like, you know, cope with depression and my anxiety and everything like that. I got worried. You know what I'm saying? I got mad worried. It, you know, all I could do was like cry. Um, I never used to allow myself to feel before. When I was younger, I was just like crying. Ugh. We don't we don't do that. Toxic masculinity. We don't do that. Crying. Yuck. That's feelings. What is this? A Drake album? Is like the generic like responses we would give when it came to emotion and stuff. Um, and that was the only thing I could do. At the same time, you know, I have this that's my landlord's dog. Gross. Yeah, what's wrong with Drake albums? Um the feeling I would get when those feelings attach my yeah, exactly. Um so for me, like, you know, I have this really close friend of mine. He's I call him Big Brother David. I had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago. Um and you know, at the same time I'm like going through these emotions. He's not doing too well. He goes into the hospital. He found out that he had like a mass on his head, and can you hear me now, Uncle Rudy? I got audio too. Can't hear you. Well, everybody else got audio. What are you talking about, Uncle Rudy? Your phone's glitching. Y'all making this hard and making it even more difficult where I'm going to have to start editing and stuff. Yeah. What's wrong with you? um, so basically, I had my brother David on here like a couple months ago and everything like that. And he had to go to the hospital. He had a mass in his head. He was having seizures and everything. And you know, he recently had surgery and everything. And for me, yeah, exactly. I don't know what Uncle Rudy's talking about. He's over here tripping. Um, y'all are distracting. Let me just not look at the chat. Um, but you know, for me, you know, I got this, and everybody knows like how I feel about my brother David if you've seen that episode. Um, he came in my life at like a pinnacle time as I'm like growing as a man, growing as a Christian, as a black man in my faith, as a black man in this country, trying to like kind of like find myself, establishing myself as not only a disciple of Christ, but as a black man in this country. Um, trying to He helped provoked me to be pretty much this version of me that y'all got now. This super, I can't even say confident, bold. I don't have confidence. I got boldness, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really like, and if you know what I'm talking about, like, I know like what I bring to the table, but will I be secure about it? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? But I'll bring it to the table. That's how I describe the difference between confidence and boldness. Um, but anyway, he ends up going to the hospital. And so all this is going on, you know, this man that's like a father figure to me. And then I have a legit father in my life that's like absent in a sense or missing in action. Um, so all this is kind of like happening all at once as I'm even sitting in this chair. And it just like it got to the point where it was like I can't, because y'all know I teach out of my pain on here. I don't like to put on a mask in front of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, you know, for me to be able to connect even with the people that like I talk to off camera in here, I've been able to establish an intimate relationship with like every one of you, and it's all different in some way, shape, or form because I'm not wearing a mask. Y'all get me with the do-rag on, you know what I'm saying? Acne popping. Some of y'all don't get me with the do-rag on, and that's cool. But y'all get the KID. Y'all get the KID that I am on camera and off camera. You know what I'm saying? We talk about some crazier things off camera, obviously, because we don't want to get canceled. Not that I say anything problematic, but we can't talk about everything in front of kids, essentially. But yeah. So, you know, for me, it was like, you know, kind of dealing with this because like that hurt feeling that like I've been dealing with, that's been kind of like sitting here. You know what I'm saying? It's been like it went from it was in the back seat, yeah, as I described earlier, where I was driving and I was like, I'm all right because it's in the back seat. But then the little bugger unbuckled itself and made its way into the middle seat and then got to the point where it was in like the passenger seat. And it kept trying to like grab the steering wheel. And for me, I was like, I can either keep driving, you know what I'm saying? I could either keep driving and just try to fight this thing off while I'm driving, or I need to put it in park. You know what I'm saying? I need to put it in park. Well, actually, you gotta put your emergency brake on first so you don't F up your transmission. Let me save y'all $1,000. Emergency brake on first, then put it in park and put that little bugger where it belongs. Because that's how grief is, believe it or not. A lot of people think that, especially when you like, and I think like in this, hopefully this is I'm speaking to somebody on here. Whether you're a Christian or not, whether you're whatever you like subscribe to, if you've dealt with any type of like trauma or grief or some type of an addiction or substance abuse, you can't live your life, not saying that you're always going to be an addict, you know what I'm saying? You when I say this, like, I don't like to call myself an addict. I'm a person that had a season in my life where I had a substance abuse issue. But that thing's in the back seat of my car. Sometimes it's in the trunk. You know, depending on how you feel about these things, it's not as cute as some days. Some days I like to call it the thing I put on the hood of my car. And you got to like make sure it's straddled down, but it's got to go with you. So maybe I'll just describe it as that dog I have to keep in the back of my car. In other words, you know what I'm saying? Or something I don't like. I don't like cats. I'm gonna call it a cat. It's a cat I got to keep in the back of my car. You know what I'm saying? It's a cat. I don't like cats at all. Don't ask me why I don't like cats. I don't like cats. But every once in a while, you gotta like tend to that thing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that thing does not derail you when you are like trying to drive somewhere. That's why I use like the kid analogy. You know, whether it's like an addiction or it's grief or it's trauma, that thing's like you have to acknowledge it, because if you don't acknowledge it, it's gonna do what it needs to do to get your attention, whether it's making noise, you know what I'm saying, whether it's kicking your seat, you know what I'm saying, it can be like kicking your seat, or it will literally like grab the steering wheel and you completely lose focus. Because sometimes when you try to ignore it and you don't acknowledge it, it sneaks up on you, if that makes sense. For me, I was like, I can't ignore this thing much longer, because then it's starting to bleed. It's not so much bleed. It starts showing up in my drive. It's starting to show up in the passenger seat when it's supposed to be in the back seat, or even in the corner where it ain't supposed to be at. And for me, that's when I realized like that this is an issue. And And these things can be a couple of other different things, but this is just one of them. So another thing that happened, I think it was like the week. I want to say it was the week after this. Yeah, it was a week after this. This was nuts. You know what I'm saying? So was it the week after this? Yes, it was. Was it? Yes. I don't know. I'm old. Quote me on that. So last week? Not the week that just passed, but last week, right? I went to this party. One of my spiritual little sisters had a graduation party at our house. My spiritual little sister goes to my old church. Mind you, everybody knows why I left my old church, right? Not everybody that I went to my old church with knows why I left my old church, and now that's my old church. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a week prior, I had actually, like, that weekend, like a Father's Day weekend, I actually just started going to this new church. I don't really have an opinion on it just yet, so I'll talk more about that in later episodes because it's still very early. But I'll talk about it briefly just to kind of like put into context of how I like get this together. So if everybody's still with me, shoot me a thumbs up in the comment section. Let me know where you guys are watching this from. If you haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Because like I said, hopefully this will kind of fill some things in for people. Not even just so much for myself, but kind of speak to like things that you could like use when we're talking about like how to like cope with like grief and trauma, this is that and the third. But yeah. So for those that know, and you've seen that episode, and hopefully those are in the moderator section. All right, cool. Here, watching from Florida, got the thumb up, bet. So for those that have seen this episode of my podcast, you know why I left my old church. You know what I'm saying? What I didn't talk about was how you cope with church trauma, because it's tricky. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's weird. The best way I could describe it, trying to cope with church trauma, is essentially the same way, and this sounds like heresy to some people. I don't care. I said what I said. This sounds like heresy to some people because it does not sound like something that other people will say. But people like my podcast because I say the things that your pastor won't say. And guess what? I don't care. And when I say I don't care if you don't like what I necessarily have to say. If you want to argue about it, sign up for the Patreon. $2 a month to give me your 2 cents. But for the people that I speak to, those that are on this journey with me, and hopefully this makes sense to them. I'm just trying to make it sense for me and reconcile it for myself. If it makes sense for you, that's fine. If it doesn't make sense for you, sit down and shut up. Simple. But for me, after leaving my old church, and the best way to describe what it's like to cope with like church trauma, it's like, think about when you break up with a girlfriend or a boyfriend or your partner or your wife or your husband. There's going to be some reason that you guys broke up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was you, whether it was them. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be certain things. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be certain things for the reason in which you guys are splitsville. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a reason why it just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So what ends up happening when you end up trying to look for a new relationship, or you find yourself in a new relationship, you will tend to look for new traits. No, you tend to look for good traits of your last partner in this new person. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like with a job. If you leave an old job and how it ended badly, you'll remember the good things about this job, and you'll look for the same things that were good about this job, and possibly in this new job with a new company or a new position. There'll be certain things that you look for at the same time. there's going to be some things that you're not going to want to look for, but you're going to look for as like red flags that you're going to use for a reason to see if you're going to feel comfortable or not with these people. So for like the last year, it'll be a year later this month since I left my old church. And they tell you usually when you go through a really traumatic breakup, and like I have been through a traumatic breakup and I've talked about it on this podcast, they tell you while you're healing, just don't date anybody. Work on yourself. So for me, how nasty, yeah, exactly. So for me, how traumatic that was with my old church, I just kind of stayed away from churches. I know that sounds crazy to those that believe in Jesus, and I know for churchy people, because I don't like churchy people because y'all are only Christians inside of buildings. I said what I said. Sorry. I mean, I don't like churchy people because my savior wasn't a savior in only a building. So with that being said, my goodness. But yeah. So I'm just yeah, I don't sugarcoat nothing but Kool-Aid around here. That's dead. But so I've stayed away from like the institutions. But I've still I still read my Bible. I still am in my devotions. I still talk to God. I don't need a building to talk to God. You know what I'm saying? I've established a community group. They become like family. Divinity, for those that do know. And we talk literally every day. If not, if I disappear for more than 24 hours, they get worried. But but we talk like every day, man. And we talk, we pray, we laugh together, we cry together, you know what I'm saying? It's family. I don't need to be in a room. I don't even need to be in a room with people to be in fellowship. I don't need to be a building to be a Christian. So I'm just now starting to go to this new church and settling in a little bit. So when I left my old church, I didn't really leave. I can't say I didn't leave on bad terms, but I just left. You know what I'm saying? Like I shot the deuces up, and if they're watching now, I mean, like, get over it. So I just shot the deuces up because to me, I was being gaslit. I was being berated, disrespected. I was being blasted. It was like one of my divinity group members described it as it was like a drive-by essentially with my old pastor. And so I was a little hesitant to go to like this party that my little sister had because she doesn't know why I left either, but because I knew that the graduation party meant so much to her, and she knows that how much I mean to her, and she means so much to me. So I was like, you know what, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? But it got crazy. And when I say it got crazy, because when I went, there were so many people from my old church. So you got to think about it like this. I just told you. When you break up with this is why I don't like churchy people. When you break up with a building, it should have nothing to do with the people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen or talked to most of these people in almost a year. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was like, oh my God, we haven't seen you in forever, haven't heard from you in forever. I'm like, we ain't talked when I was, most of the people at least, some people, they were like, oh, I missed you. No, you didn't, because we didn't talk when I went to the same church anyway, but that's completely besides the point. Oh, I love you and I miss you. I miss talking to you. I don't even remember talking to you. There's just some, and if you're wondering if it's you, it probably was you if you're watching this right now. Sorry, it's PhD in pulling baby hairs, as somebody said this weekend. But so everything for the most part was okay. Until my old pastor shows up. So I was a little like on edge because I had to like keep getting up and like saying hi to people. Oh, where are you going nowadays? I'm like, oh, I actually just started going to this church. They're like, but you left our church back in. I was like, yeah, I know. So what? I didn't stop being a Christian when I left your church. You know, God doesn't just use this building. You know what I'm saying? God will use a bathroom. You think he's just gonna use this church? Like, he's not. And you know, my old pastor like walks in and I'm like kind of like, oh F. Cause one, I didn't know he was gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just like, for those that know me, I'm a social, but I'm an introverted person. Meaning like I'm social, but I'm private. I'm social and I like my space respected. Meaning like I'll be in a room with you, but get out my bubble. Like I'm the type of person, if I go to movies, like God is omnipresent. Not thank you. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of people like, yo, I can be in a room with you, but like just like you see where my microphone, you see like where my filter is at. Like there needs to be, if I can feel you breathing on me, here's me. You know what I'm saying? Here's me. Like, so here's me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hear that? Right, there's me. If I can feel your air on me, you too close. Like, back up, dog. Back it up. There. And my pastor comes in. A pastor comes in, and my old pastor, I need to stop calling him my pastor because it makes it seem like I was on his plantation. I said what I said. So my old pastor comes in, and yo, like I'm sitting in this spinning chair, and he like whips my chair around and he gets like mad close to my face, and he's like, "What's up?" And everything in me like wanted to like, there was like a Spartan kick, I think it was, in the movie 300. Y'all remember 300, where he was like, "This is Sparta." Part of me wanted to be like, "This is my bubble," and like kick. It was nuts because it was oh my gosh, it was like, yo, it like when I say like he was like this close, my guy, it was like, yo, I don't know if you're vaccinated. I mean, I am. I know you didn't pop a Tic Tac in your mouth when you was in my damn face, but it was just a little too close. I don't even like when they say at church, hit your neighbor on the left, hit your neighbor on the right. I will shiv you. I will go back inside. Please don't even try that. I don't like people too close to me, like, because of the things I've been through and stuff like that. I don't really like people getting close to me. Don't give me no unsolicited hugs. I don't know you like that. Like, no. And even if I do know you like that, no, this is my body. I don't even own the rights to my black skin because I gave it to Christ. You know what I'm saying? You definitely don't own the rights to this black body. So chill. No. Back up. You hear me? On earth. So that triggered me because, you know, one, you're in my face. That's a terrible way to just kind of like come into my orbit. But like, yo, I haven't talked to this man since I pretty much announced that I was leaving my old church. Like I made like a Facebook status. I texted him personally. I said, bye. If you could ever break up with somebody in a very quick and easy, it was like, I don't need to explain myself. No is a complete sentence. Do you understand me? I was just like, bye. That was it. I'll talk to you when I speak to you, sir. That was it. I don't want to talk it out. I mean, for those that know how bad it got for me, I don't need to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing that I think people don't understand. And I mean this when we're talking about trauma. Because a lot of people disagree with like how I left my old church, right? They were like, oh, I should have been more confrontational. I should have left in a better way. I should have sat down. That's bullshit. I'm just saying, I know I don't normally cuss on here, but let me tell y'all something. That is complete and utter bullshit. Like, the reason I say that is because there is never going to be a dignified way to break away from an abusive relationship. There's never going to be the right way to break away and snatch yourself out of your chains. There wasn't a kind way in which Jesus flipped tables. He just flipped them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say that is because y'all saw the tape that I showed. Like, I was being gaslit. I was being mocked. I was being berated. Be lucky all I did was send a text message to dip out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sent a text message. I'm not even kidding. And I'll post them on my social media for people that don't believe me. Or on my Patreon, because that is my social media and y'all pay me to see what I talk about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just sent I put up a post. I texted whoever I wanted to text, because I, once again, no is a complete sentence and I don't have to explain myself to nobody but Jesus. At the end of the day, Jesus, that's it. Because the only way to the Father is through him. So I was like, Jesus, I'm leaving. Long as you don't leave me, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I dipped out. Anyway, so it was, I said, you know, when I told him, like, I was, you know, that I was leaving, I said, I'll speak to you when I speak to you. Not going to be on your time or my time. So when he, like, invaded my personal space in my bubble, that kind of let me know, even if there was a possibility I could have talked to him, it wasn't going to be that day, because you did not respect my personal space. You know what I'm saying? You did not respect, once again, as I said earlier, you do not, I don't even own the rights to my life. You definitely don't own the rights to my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And some people like to say, like, oh, you're being too sensitive. You're just making a big old stink about it, this, that, and the third. That is a tool by people that basically say, when you're being too sensitive and soft and emotional, they're basically saying, hey, I want to be able to disrespect you, gaslight. I want to be able to disrespect you, gaslight you, dehumanize you in peace. So if you could just keep it down while I do all these things, that'd be greatly appreciated. No. Once again, there's no dignified way to check disrespect, especially when it's an abusive relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I still stay at the party. Like, you know, I'd end up talking to, like, one of the people at the party. I'm not going to put them on blast or anything like that, but I end up, like, talking to a couple people at the party, and I stayed in my space. Basically, when it dwindled down to the point that I could hear this nigga breathe, essentially, talk about my old pastor. Basically, when it dwindled down to the point that I could hear this nigga breathe and stuff, I was like, all right, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? I said goodbye to the host's parents and everything. Like, I said goodbye to the host and everything. Said goodbye to a couple of other people that from my old church that I'm still, like, cool with and everything like that. And then it dwindled down to, like, my old pastor. You know what I'm saying? My old pastor, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? We always talk about we don't live there anymore. When we're talking about God has delivered us to, like, new seasons in our life, we don't live there anymore. We're in this is season 2. You know, we were living there when it was season 1. You heard me? But I didn't even acknowledge there. Like, I made it a point to not look at them. Like, I don't have to. Like, we broke up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't owe you anything. I don't. I don't owe you a conversation. I'm waiting for God. Like, I'm like, God, when are we talking to them? Because I'm not doing it. I'll be obedient if you put it on my heart to do it, God. But I ain't, nah. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't do this for man's approval. I don't live this life for man's approval. I do this for man's sake, meaning, like, this is all for God's sake. And I do like what I do for man, meaning like there's a message in which God has dropped in me and deposited in me for me to pontificate and to utter to the people and the masses. You know what I'm saying? I don't get tripped up over everybody's opinion because, if I live by everybody's acceptance, I'm going to die from their rejection. As Lecrae put it, I'm not going to, I don't care if, when I say like I didn't care, it was just like I just dipped out. I don't know how they felt. I don't know what was said about me after I left. I don't want to know. Why? Because I don't live there anymore. So we're not going to talk about furniture in a house I don't live at anymore. You know what I'm saying? We talked about like one of the things that like the pastor of this new church I go to talks about when you enter in this new life, this new stage, make sure to close the door behind you. Close it, yo. I don't need to hear. Like, if I sold a house and somebody else bought this house and they set up the room however they want to set it up, who am I to go to the same address? You know what I'm saying? Who am I to go back to the same address and care how they decorate? I don't live there, nigga. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I break up with somebody, I don't care what you and my ex do. I don't, not to get too graphic, but like, however you however you fund, feed, or fondle. Yeah, we'll use that word, fondle. I'm not going to use the other F word. We're not going to do that. There's some children watching this. But however you fund, feed, or fondle that thing ain't got nothing to do with me because we don't live there anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because, like, a lot of people get caught up looking back. You know what I'm saying? Nostalgia is dangerous like that. I talked about that on my podcast before, how, like, I cut my hair recently. It looks healthy and everything on the ends. Everything is healthy now. Like, everything is good now. But it was only because I had to cut off. There was like 10. I showed some people. I had like 10 inches of hair I had to cut off. But it was dead. You know what I'm saying? You got to cut that out. Cut it out. Cut it out. I'm not going to cuss anymore on my podcast. But cut that joint out, dog. Why? Why keep it? Because it's killing everything else. And it's hard to... What the heck? I think I accidentally took a picture on my camera. That was weird. But it's hard to focus on where you're going when you keep looking back, B. You know what I'm saying? You can't... It's very, 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 very dangerous. Like, say if you're like with like a new person, like I'm not dating anybody yet. You know what I'm saying? How you doing? I'm single and ashy. What's up? Anyway, but for me, if I'm gonna be with somebody new, I don't want to be like, oh, I hope she does what so-and-so does. I hope she did what so-and-so did. Like, dag. Like, so you're looking for her and her. You know what I'm saying? Or you're looking for them and him. You know what I'm saying? Not yet. Now I'm moisturized, but I was ashy earlier. You heard me? I took an Epsom salt bath. I was out here looking like a growth sister from the Proud Family. But yeah, when God is like trying to give you something new, you can't like, yo, when you upgraded, I got an X. I mean, I know the 12 is out now, but I got an X. I can't be sitting here like trying to do 6 type stuff on an X. We upgraded. You heard me? Like we upgraded. Like you went from a Honda Civic to a Tesla. You heard me? Like you trying to do things that you could do in a Civic and a Tesla. Why are we doing that, baby? Why we don't do that anymore? We don't live there anymore. We don't drive that anymore. You understand me? We don't feed, fund, and fondle these things the same way anymore. You heard me? It's the truth. And I say this because I'm trying to set somebody free, yo. Like, it's just like I've got caught up in that because it's hard for me to, as I described it in my last podcast, it's hard to enjoy the party when you're looking out the window waiting for that one guest to show up. But everybody else is just like kind of congregated, you know what I'm saying, and symbolized. in the room. Be in the room, dog. Don't do that. Don't be in the rear view while you're driving. You know what I'm saying? Nostalgia is dangerous like that. So like when it comes to like church trauma, for me, it took, and I'll put this in a way like for people that like try to understand what I'm talking about. Headset just dropped out. Ew. But I'll put this in a way that other people can understand like what this event was like for me months ago. So when this happened, you know what I'm saying? When I got accosted, when I got berated and disrespected, that was traumatizing for me, right? Anybody that's ever been through trauma before, you got to recognize the assailant and the setting. So hopefully this will make sense to people. You got to understand the difference between the assailant and the setting. Hear me out. Because a lot of things could have played into the part of the assailant's assignment or attack. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you know, I was looking at the assailant did this to me, and this is the setting. The people at my old church were the setting essentially, because this all happened. You know, some people were complicit. There were some people I like literally talked to about like what I was going through, and they gaslit me and they pretty much watered down like what I actually went through, and they didn't really care. Let's just say it just like that. And you know, I was thinking to myself, and I try to explain this to other people. There are some people that were just completely innocent in the matter. But because of the assassination that took place, or the attempt of the assassination, because I'm still here, doggone it. Because the attack that took place, I'll say attack. Assassination sounds too killing. Death is involved. But because the attack that took place the setting, anything that reminded me of the setting freaked me out. So like churches in itself, the institutions, they freaked me out. Settings and circles, like even like divinity, you can ask them. Like I'm like, dude, it took us a while to really like, I would say like maybe a couple of weeks when we first like met each other. And every time somebody else came into the fold of our community group, it took them a while too. You know what I'm saying? They're like, because everybody kind of came from that same environment of like deconstructing and decolonizing and everything. But it takes a while, you know what I'm saying? Because being in like those type of rooms, being in that type of setting is just and you know, when you're dealing with like trauma, when it comes to like institutions like that, when it comes to like, you have to, like I said, this is why you have to understand like the difference between like people that are like this in the room and people who are like this outside of the room. Like I'm me everywhere. I'm me everywhere. I'm like little John with a mega horn at a funeral. Like I'm not that I'm loud, but I'm just me. You don't never got to worry about me being phony, dog. This is me. Like that's it. Yeah, I don't. But when it comes to like these like settings, people like to like posture themselves. Either it's assimilating to like, you know, evangelical spaces, white evangelical spaces and stuff like that. That weirded me out. I've been to like 3 different churches since I left my old church. All 3 of them, while I was like, too many traits of my ex. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nope. And obviously the people make the building. Yes, Little John. I'll be in a funeral home and be like, man, it's lively up in here. Anyway, but yeah, so like, yeah, and I had to like recognize for me that like some of these things were just a part of the room, not a part of the problem necessarily. But I don't know that. I don't know that at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just thinking this crap happened in this room and all this happened in that room with these people. And I had to remove myself from this whole room setting and atmosphere because I need to protect myself. You know what I'm saying? And that can end up being like kind of heartbreaking for some people. But I also don't need to explain myself to people either. Because as all this is happening, you know, I'm being gaslit. I'm being raked over the coals. You know, my character is being assassinated. I'm being disrespected and berated and talked little about. So for me, it was like, dude, I just had to get out of there. You know, and everybody that felt the type of way about me leaving, I'm sorry you felt that way, but I'm not sorry how I left. You know, I had to get free. I couldn't breathe at my old church. And I'm not going to apologize for it either because it was doing me mad damage. I mean, it still kind of brings it up every once in a while, but I had to recognize that like when it came to like this, for instance, this encounter when I like ran into my old pastor, I was like, this this was like confirmation that I made the right choice. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, even though you tend to get a little freaked out, there's some people that come into your life that are low maintenance and you don't talk to them for a while, right? But then when you talk to them again, it feels good. There's some people that are low maintenance and it seems like every time you talk to them it's draining, and then they go away and then they come back and it's draining all over again. What am I saying to you? I'm saying that there are some people that are in your life, whether it's high maintenance or low maintenance, all they do is drain. You know what I'm saying? All they do is subtract from you. They never add to you. And for me, it was so telling because I was just like, oh, some of the encounters I had at this party, there were some people, and whoever you are, if you feel like this is you, I mean, I would tell you to your face if you want to ask. But specifically with my old pastor, I felt drained more than I felt like I was being offered a drink. And I probably wouldn't have taken a drink from how do I say this politely? Like, I just don't want Kool-Aid from the cult leader. I just don't want it. I just don't want it personally. It was just wild. But yeah, it's that's been hard because it's like it kind of goes back into like this trauma of like this like fatherlessness, this like, you know, this like, you know what I'm saying, like this like emptiness, because my old pastor, for those that know, like my old pastor, he played a huge part into who I became today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he got me so far. He got me so far up the mountain. You know, the Bible describes like, you know, when Abraham was going up the mountain with Isaac, there was guards that were with him, but they could only supervise him. They could only like, you know, guard him for so far up the mountain. You know, my old pastor got me so far. You know what I'm saying? And I had to recognize that it was like, you can't go anymore with me. You can't. For me to do what I have to do, you know what I'm saying? You gotta chill down there, dog. You gotta chill down there, dog. And I'm not gonna rejoin you when I come back down to do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that like that time that I had with him, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't all bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna keep it a beanie. Like there, I loved. I still, and then I'll keep it a beanie with y'all. I still love like my old past. I just don't like the BS. I don't like the assimilating to white supremacy, but then getting mad when I talk bad about white supremacy because white supremacy is bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that what I'm trying to fight for is social justice. I'm pretty much demonized as a Marxist and a black extremist and a Democrat. I'm not, I don't, they're both trash. I'm politically agnostic. Like, but I can have love for people and not want them in my life anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I got, like, I want him to wake up. I want God to I want God to radicalize and rectify his heart, and I want him to repent. That's all I want for people today. I want reconciliation, repentance, and restoration at the end of the day. But that's between you and God. I just know that what's between you and God don't got nothing to do with me. So keep what's between you and God away from me, especially if it's gonna impact my growth. You know what I'm saying? And on my path. You know what I'm saying? Because we on two different paths. I'm not saying he ain't listening to God. I just know that we weren't tuned into the same conference call. And while I'm trying to talk to God, you trying to tell me that the call I'm taking right now is bad for me. No, it's not anybody else's call to make that. There's a lot of times in which that we can be called to different things, but people will hear your calling and think that there's something wrong with you, or who you're talking to is, insignificant. That's not true. A lot of us will do different things. Just because some of us want to run Fortune 500s and some of us want to, I don't know, work at Staples our whole life, that don't mean that you failed. It just means that you succeeded in different ways. You know what I'm saying? In this case, when it comes to like my old church, I was doing some social justice. The Bible is social justice. It was written for social justice. I'm not going to sit there and argue with anybody about that. But anybody that gets in the way with that, you better kill me when I'm trying to get this done. You better kill me, because I don't bow to anybody. And I wasn't going to bow to my pastor. I wasn't going to bow to my church. No. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time for that. I don't care if you were like a father to me. I don't care if you gave me a watch. I don't care if you've spoken all these nice words of my life, because you still, towards the end, you spoke death. And I'm not going to. Marathon continues, and I still got Bibles to kill. Still got giants to kill at the end of the day. So I just don't. It is what it is. So I think a lot of people, when it comes to when you have like these good moments with people, they want you to only focus on the good times, because they don't want you to focus on the moments that they did not take accountability and responsibility and everything else. You know what I'm saying? That is important too. If you really care about I've messed up so many times, bro. Yeah, just the people are probably watching. I think Lonnie is the only one I have not offended yet. And maybe Chapo. I don't think I've offended Chapo yet. If I have, she'll let me know, I assume. Everybody else, I know I've offended you, and I've more than rectified, hopefully. If I didn't, then we'll talk after this. And by talk, if it's about to get greasy, sign up for the Patreon, because I'm not about to argue with people that ain't paying me. You heard me. Anyway, but that's super important when it comes to this, is that sometimes when stuff like this happens, and there's like a bad moment that happens with people, when they only want you to focus on the good moments. Yeah, because I don't think I've got to argue with you, Queen Lonnie. I don't know. I hope not. I love you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I felt like was dangerous for me, because it seemed like everybody was trying to point me to everything that was going well, but they didn't want me to focus on like the bad things, because why? There wasn't restoration and reconciliation that was coming out of those. And that, for me, that's when you know it's a problem, is when somebody messes up and they want you to like ignore it. That's like when somebody spills something in the store and they're not going to put a wet floor sign around it. They want you to just, no, don't even look at it, yo. You know what I'm saying? Don't even that. Nah. I could shoot. Say if like I accidentally like stepped on, if I scuffed somebody's shoes, if they're pissed off about it and I don't even apologize, they have every right to be mad at me. You hear me? Like the Bible says, before you lay your gift, before you lay your gift at the altar, reconcile with your brother. There was none of that was taking place. So why should I feel bad about, taking the stance I did? I'm sure I would have. Yeah, please let me know, beloved, if I ever piss you off. You heard me? But yeah, man. it still stings. Because like I said, from 19 to like 26, I was going to this church. And so I thought for me, a lot of my identity as a Christian came from that church. But because I'm in this journey of deconstruction, I realized that Christ doesn't live in the church. Christ is the church. You know what I'm saying? Christ, if the foundation ain't him, it's just a building. You know what I'm saying? Like for me as a Christian, if my foundation ain't Christ, I'm just another nigga on the block. I'm just gonna keep it a beanie with you. Like, and I mean that for real though. Like, an athlete with no athleticism. An athlete with no athleticism. I'm just saying it's the truth though. Like an athlete without athleticism ain't an athlete. A referee that don't know the rules. Come on now. A referee that don't know the rules. You name it. You gotta have stock in this game if you want to own it. You know what I'm saying? If I want to be a Christian, I better have some stock in what it means to be Christ-like. And if I'm not willing to buy in more, come on now, then it ain't worth it. That's what's going on with me. I don't need to be a part. I'm started going to another church, but for me, man, if the foundation ain't Christ, then it's shaky, baby. I don't want no part of it. Like that's just me. That's just me. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm different. I don't know. But so pray for me. This last part to kind of like explain all this. So pray for me, everybody that's watching right now, because this is gonna be a little difficult. I have not cried about this yet. I hope not. You know what I'm saying? I hope not. I don't feel like ruining my makeup, but you know what? I've cried on this podcast plenty of times enough. And you know what? Y'all are family on here. You know what I'm saying? Even those that be talking, y'all are family too. Y'all just those cousins that got a lazy eye that we don't tell you. We just, I'm so kidding. Y'all just, I don't know. You wear your jeans to bed and you eat Kit Kat sideways. That's besides the point. But just pray for me, everybody that's watching right now. So last Friday, I talked to, I mean, sometimes it gets churchy. I don't know. I don't talk how your pastor talks though. So like this may not be your regular church. But maybe that's a good thing. So like last Friday, right? I was talking to my big brother David. You know what I'm saying? How I mentioned earlier. I've always called him Big Brother. But I've always looked at him as a father figure to me. He's always been like a father figure to me. He calls me Soul Flow. I call him Swole Flow because he's big as hell. He's meaty. And the only thing I got soul because I definitely don't got muscles. I mean, I have muscles. I mean, like please don't try me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might have a bird chest, but like I will pluck your feathers and your baby hairs. Please don't try me. Hear me. But oh man. But so I was talking to him last Friday and and he was telling me that he went to get checked up. This is after like he had a mass on his head, he had to get surgery and everything like that. And he tells me that basically he found out that he has brain cancer. And so like, he tells me this and like, And if he's watching right now, big bro, just know I love you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Um, he tells me this, and I'm just like, huh? I smile because I was just like, I didn't hear that. Like it is happening in real time. So like in my head, I'm like, uh, what? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, it was kind of weird. It was like it just kind of hit me all at once. It was like, oh, great. Right on cue. This dog likes to come out of nowhere just when I think I'm about to cry. I'm fine. You're so nosy. This dog is so nosy. My goodness. I'm fine, Dashi. Sit down. Good boy. Um, but yeah, um, he tells me that, it's a rare form of cancer, and 1 in 200,000 people have it. One in 200,000 people have it. There's no cure. They're gonna give him treatments and stuff like that. Anything that he can do, but he we're all kind of on this in a sense. We're all kind of on borrowed time, I would say. Um, and for me, when I heard this, I was just like, what? You know, um, just because it doesn't seem real, you know, because this man, he moved away from me. I'm kidding, he didn't move away from me. Well, he did move away from me. He just straight up left me. He moved because of the military. He abandoned me or anything like that. Even though he keeps trying to tell me to move out west. Um, but he if anybody's ever wondered like why I go by Mr. Lee with Love, right? That's my social media handle. It's kind of like my mantra when I hit the streets, you know what I'm saying? Um, because there was a bald-headed dude. There was a bald-headed dude that drove me to my first show as a Christian rapper. He drove me to my first show, and he saw me for who I was before anybody else did. Meaning, like, he saw me who I am now before I even recognized who I could become. And I mean, just straight up approach me. I mean, I was broke, busted, and disgusted. I was triflina. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Trifarelli, Trifarelli, like Cinderella. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was one that did not wipe his feet. Well, for the most part, I didn't have the boldness to tell him to f off when he just like came into my life. Um, but he let me know he didn't even have to say it to just be very intentional about everything you do when you're witnessing to somebody, when you're loving on somebody, when you're ministering to somebody, when you're just talking to somebody. Make sure that they know, regardless of how you talk to them afterwards, that you love them. Now I fall short of that sometimes because there's some people I'm pretty sure, even though I've told them to kiss my butt, they did not think I loved them afterwards. I'm pretty sure that's the case. But he's always made it clear that the goal at the end of the day is to speak life and speak love. You know, there's a time for war and there's a time for peace. Absolutely. Um, but as far as this intentionality game that we all are a part of, in which that we are a part of when we're engaging people, um you really want to take advantage of people you have a connection with, because you this goes back to like being in the room, enjoy the party. You really want to make sure that you are enjoying everybody you're at this party with. um because you don't know how long they're going to be at this party with you. You don't know how long that they're going to be in the room with you, how long you're going to have them in your life. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Every you know, thank God I woke up today. Thank God y'all woke up today. You know, praise God if you wake up tomorrow. And I'm gonna praise God that you go home to be with them at the end of the day. I praise God for the impact that each and every one of you have had on me. Um, but I don't want anybody to think that you gotta be this. When I say this, that you just aren't allowed to have impact on the people you are. Exactly. That's why they call the present a present. It's a gift. You know what I'm saying? You were given the day. That's the gift. You know what I'm saying? Um, but be a gift to somebody. You know, if all you can give people is money, and all people can inherit from you is money, what is your legacy? You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to just know me as ghostthreads.com. I don't want people to just know me as the Christian rapper and they know more about my song lyrics opposed to the ways I acted like Christ. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't feel Christ in my lyrics, I was doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or at least they did, and some of us don't have the lens, and that's fine. Um, but if you know more about my YouTube numbers and my TikTok numbers, and who's got the dopest drip on the websites, ghostthreads.com, by the way. How you doing? And not about like who I am as a man, how I carry myself, how I love people. Um, if you know me more as Mr. Lee with love, the handle, but now how I handle you guys with love, I'm doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that, I and I say that because we've been through some crazy stuff. Talk about like people that are in my generation. We had a 9/11. We had the DC sniper, um, Katrina. How many hurricanes? Um, the Charlottesville riots. We've had so many mass shootings. January 6th. We've had George Floyd. There's so many instances that we've been through some traumatic stuff, and we've witnessed so many traumatic stuff. But we weren't a part of every traumatic thing. We might have been impacted by seeing it and witnessing it, but we weren't impacted by being afflicted by it. You know what I'm saying? Um, we weren't the person that was shot in these mass shootings. We weren't the ones that were flooded out in these floods. We weren't the ones that were burned up in these wildfires. We aren't the ones that was shot by these snipers. We, and I say that to those that are listening right now, but we were impacted by the witnessing them. Um, Very easy that could have been us. What I say about that is that we are not in control of the things that happen around us and other people do, but we can control what we do to the people around us, the impact we have on us. You know what I'm saying? We have complete and utter control over speaking life or death into somebody. You know what I'm saying? Um, we were saying, I was saying the other day when I was having quintanilla with my boy the other night, I was saying like no, he was saying that the tongue has the power to speak life or death, and that's so true. You could, especially during this time when things are super tense, you could speak life or death into somebody. You could literally be sentencing somebody life or death during this time. And I always ask people, what is that going to grow into when you sow that seed? You know what I'm saying? What is going to manifest from those words that you are going to speak into those people? What is going to be the impact? What is the scar that is going to be left? You know what I'm saying? When we do these things in which we carry ourselves with each other. And, I'm not saying you gotta be perfect. I'm not saying you gotta be the best person you could be. I just know that rich people don't got money in their account. Lovely people, it's not just about the person who's the best giver. It has nothing to do with like tangible gifts. It has everything to do with the impact and the love that we have on one another. And I think of how David is like, my brother, he's had a huge impact on me. Um Even from far away. Like he left back in 2017. But still talk. We don't talk every day. He's got a wife and kid, and I'm single and ashy, but that's besides the point. Um but we're not in control of how much time we have left. But we can control what we do with it. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have with my brother. I do plan on going to Seattle at some point. I'll have to get like a hotel or something like that. By the grace and love of God, one of my mentors was like, "Hey, let me know when you go out there. I hope you know what I'm saying." uh, I gotta set things up so I can go out there and visit my boy, visit some family and everything. Because I don't know, and this kind of just provoked me to be more intentional. And I love my brother. I love my brother David. And I love my divinity brothers and sisters. And I love Chapo, and I love Sister Lonnie, who I just met not too long ago. I even love Black Girl Warrior that doesn't have any kneecaps. That's besides the point. I love the people I've met on here. All my arrows and my weirdos. That's what I call y'all. My black sheep family and everything like that. Um, and it's made me want to just be more intentional as far as imparting something to you, because we don't gotta. I don't gotta have it all together. I don't got a lot of money, okay, despite popular belief. I don't know why everybody like no. See my Cash App? Hi. It's Mr. Lead with Love Cash App. The Venmo is pretty much the same. Like I said, I got paid for a motel, and I'm not going to a motel. I'm not doing ghetto again. Um, and I don't got a lot of money, but I know that I'm rich in love. I don't got a lot of I don't got a lot of muscle, but I got a lot of arm length, so I can give as long a hugs you need. See how I did that? You see how I did that? You heard me. 7'1" wingspan. You heard me. Um, but all this is kind of provoked me to just be more intentional about not only the impact in which I have on people, but just how these things in which I went through have had an impact on me. Because the body keeps score at the end of the day. Um, and the things I went through just in the last like 3 weeks, that all adds up. You know what I'm saying? And I needed the time to lament and process and feel what I was feeling, and acknowledge what I was feeling. Um, because if I don't acknowledge it, it's going to try to acknowledge me. Um, it's going to try to get my attention. And if I don't take the time to pull over, e brake first, parking brake second. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I'm trying to save y'all transmission out here. And address that thing and acknowledge that thing before it completely ruins where I'm trying to get to and derails me. It's gonna be a problem, you know. It's not so much about like letting these things out, because a lot of these things are gonna be with us for the rest of our lives, how they have affected us, you know what I'm saying? Um, how we respond to it though. You know what I'm saying? We can't control whether or not we go through pain, but we definitely control whether or not we're gonna suffer from it. We can't even control how we react to these like that's why I call them allergic reactions. We can't really even control how these traumatic events affect us. They're like emotional allergic reactions, but we can control how we respond to it, whether it's with an EpiPen, whether it's with therapy, whether it's with a support group, whether it's with that friend that I call it the crusty eye call. Meaning like you call somebody when they got crust in their eyes, when it's really that bad, where you can call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, yo, going through it, I'm down bad. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Now, I honestly, I don't really know how to. I don't really. I honestly, I don't really know. I say honestly, like I wasn't being honest before. I don't know how to feel about all this that's going on right now. I don't really know even how to respond. I'm kind of just processing it with you guys out loud, like right now. uh, but I like to preach from my pulpit in my pain. I like to practice. I like to practice in front of y'all. I like to process everything in front of y'all, because this is just what I've established with everybody. This is what I've just established with my black sheep family, with my arrows and my weirdos. Um, this is just how I've done things, because it's all I know. It's all I know. It's the only thing that makes sense to me right now. That's how God's kind of put it on me, because I don't got all the answers. I definitely don't. I don't. There's people in my divinity group that I jokingly, like, matter of fact, one of my one of, I call her my one of my elders. That's so funny because she's younger than me. I call her Auntie Maya. She's become one of my, when I say like one of my pillars in my community group. She's one of my elders of the sits. Like I lean on her and be like, "Yo, am I tripping? Because if I'm tripping, I know you'll tell me." You know what I'm saying? I know you'll tell me. And I tell her all the time, like, I don't know how I'm doing this. I'm just kind of just I'm just following lead. And this is what makes sense right now. And it's not gonna look like how everybody else does it, but doesn't mean it's wrong either. Um, yeah. So that's about it, guys. Um, Thank you everybody for tuning in. I was feeling like super nervous about this. It's always like when I take a lot of time off. I remember when I took like the week off after the Derek Chauvin trial, um, all that kind of. I appreciate that, Chapo. Um, it's all Man, you're right. I don't need to know. That's why, like, when I told people the other day, am I okay? Honestly, no. That's nah. Okay, when I hear the word okay, I think of like a place of like contentment. I'm content with my God, not my circumstances. Does that make sense? My contentment with my God allows me to just to be stasis in my circumstances. Yeah. But I feel like this was good. Hopefully. I mean, I'll probably hear how this impacted everybody else afterwards. But yeah, um, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Um, thank you everybody that commented and liked and shared with other people. And hopefully that this was good for a few people. Hopefully this was peace instilling in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I'd be saying some off the wall stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like off the wall. Like, yeah. Um, Tomorrow, uh, big sis, Queen Jess Jeremy. She's got Not Your Safe Zone podcast. Uh, I can't remember exactly who she has on, but she's talking about ableism and I think it's ableism and homophobia. Yes, ableism and homophobia in the black community. That's Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but then again, I'm also making the thumbnails, so that would be bad if I was wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's the right time. Uh, yeah. I'll be back unless something else happens during the day tomorrow. I should not be back here. Yeah, yeah, it was good. If everybody enjoyed it, if everybody, I thoroughly would love everybody to kind of just not kind of do it, not kind of do it. You don't kind of love your wife, you love your wife. You understand me? But if you would love to check out what Queen Jess is up to, check out her YouTube channel. If you want the link from me, hit me up after this is done. I got you. Or I'll just drop it in the comment section. I got you. But yeah. And I'll be back. I'll be back at 10:30. I'm not kidding. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time AM. I have an interview with the naked pastor. What did you say? Exactly. But 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I got an interview with the naked pastor. He's an illustrator. He's a pastor from Canada. We're gonna be talking about him as an artist, him and his trials with the evangelical church. We're gonna talk about, you know, white supremacy sewn into the fabric of our institutions as Christians. We're gonna talk about the recent findings of, you know, indigenous children at these grave sites at like schools in Canada, charter schools in Canada. It's gonna be a good conversation. It's gonna be 10:30 in the morning. If y'all want to turn me on your way, I don't know who's gonna be driving to work at 10:30 in the morning, but if you want to listen to me on YouTube, on Facebook Live, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be you heard me. Ain't no try, you do it. Nike didn't try to do it, they just did it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then I got another interview Wednesday night with my sister Tori Bay at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. I don't know what I'm doing on Thursday yet. I don't really know what I'm doing on Friday yet, but just kind of going with the flow on this one. But hopefully I will see y'all in the comment section. I'm not gonna be on screen tomorrow. I can stay single and ashy tomorrow. You heard me? Unless I have something come up during the day. But yeah. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you everybody that was so kind and gracious and loving in the comment section. Always remember you are beautiful, blessed, and beloved. Raisins don't go on potato salad because why? That's demonic and we don't do that. And Jesus wasn't white. Have a good